Hey guys, Preacher 357 here, coming to you again from the range, bringing back the Smith & Wesson M&P 2.0 10mm for a second go-round. A second range review with it. The first time was a first shot sort of video. I just got it out of the box and came out here and shot it, and it was okay. It wasn't the best trigger in the world. Very, very gritty. The break was okay, but you know, I've had better. I've shot it quite a bit more, you know, since then, in between the videos, and it's a lot better. I mean, it took a while to work out that grittiness, which was really in that striker block in the slide is where it was coming from. But it seems to have worked itself out quite a bit. It's really not all that gritty anymore. It feels decent, feels pretty good. I just put some rounds on paper and had a fairly decent group with it. I pulled a few, but those were just me. It wasn't the gun. So a little bit more familiar with the gun now than I was. Doing a little bit better shooting it. The trigger feels better. Now, there were a few things that happened in between the videos, or a couple things really, that I do want to mention. Number one is I did have a failure. I had a stovepipe, a round that did not eject. Now, it was with hand loads. It was with my hand loads. So, you know, I don't want to say necessarily that, you know, it was the gun's fault. Maybe there was something with that round that, you know, the brass was, you know, not quite in spec or something. Who knows, you know. But just to mention it, I did have a stovepipe failure, which was kind of surprising because my other M&Ps have pretty much all ran flawlessly. I don't really remember having any issues with the three that I've had. I've pretty much all ran just about anything I put through them. Though the M&P 40C that I had really didn't like the 180 grain projectiles that much. It would cycle them, but you would feel it like it was hanging up a little bit, but it would always cycle. It never failed, but you could just kind of feel it wanting to hang up a little bit with them, probably because they were a little longer OAL or something. I don't know, but it always fed them. And so I was kind of surprised to see that this one did have that failure. The other thing was I did something I'd kind of worried about. I accidentally engaged the safety. I went to shoot it and there was nothing there. That trigger was dead. And the trigger was dead because I had accidentally hit it. And that's the thing, it's really big, and you know, having a really big really big safety is good for being able to flip it on and off easily. You can see how easy it is. It's almost too easy. Flipping it off you want to be easy, but flipping it on, you know, it doesn't need to be too easy. It needs to be really positive. And I mean, there's a click there, but I was worried about that, and it did happen. I accidentally engaged the safety before I shot, and so that's something to keep in mind. And if I decide this is a gun I'm going to keep, which I haven't decided yet, there's a lot of guns out there that I need to review, so I don't know if I'll keep this one or sell it or what I'll do with it. But if I decide to keep it, the safety's probably going to go. Just go ahead and tell you that I'm probably going to get rid of that safety. I don't need it for anything. I don't think it really serves any purpose for me. So that's one thing that's going to go if I do decide to keep the gun. But anyway, other than that, you know, other than that one failure and the safety engagement, it's been a really good shooter so far. Now that trigger has gotten so much better. So let's try to shoot a few more rounds here and see if I do a little bit better with it this time than I did last time. And I'm not going to shoot hand loads too much because I want to see if we get another failure without it being a possibility of being my fault, put it that way. And so I'm going to go with some of this fancy ammo that I can't pronounce. I'm assuming it's like a French word or something. I'm not sure where this stuff's even made, to be honest. Made in the Czech Republic, so I guess it's not French, but it sounds French because it looks like it would be Sellier and Bellot. But of course, being from the South and being a redneck, I'm just going to say it's Seller and Bellot. So this is Seller and Bellot here, and I'm going to shoot some of this Seller and Bellot. If I run out of this, then I'll go back to hand loads. because this is all the factory ammo I've got left. I shot up all the rest that I had. Between the Glock 20, the M&P 10mm here, and my Model 610. I've done a lot of shooting with 10mm here lately, so this is all I've got left, except for my hand load. So we'll go through the Seller and Bellot first, and we'll see if she runs this perfectly, and we'll see if I can shoot this gun accurately now that the trigger is kind of slicked itself up a little bit from use. Because I've always liked the M&P line. I've liked the ergonomics of it. It fits really well in your hand. It's much more natural pointing than a Glock. You know, that grip angle on a Glock it's unnatural feeling. With that said, once you get used to the grip angle on the Glock, I think it really does help you keep the gun on target, because you have to roll your wrist forward, and I feel like that really helps mitigate some of that muzzle flip that you get. It helps you really hold that muzzle down. So even though it feels really strange when you first start shooting a Glock, once you get used to it, it's really a pretty good shooting gun. But it certainly doesn't feel as good in the hand as the M&P. So let's just throw a few rounds down range here, and I'll shoot a few over there at my duct tape special over there, my 80-yard rifle plate that I've had to rig up with some duct tape to hold it in place because I broke the chain on it and broke the stand. But you know, what can I say? I'm a southern redneck, and that's the way we do things. So let's see if I can hit anything with this gun now. Yeah. Not starting out too good, are we? There we go. Well, I did pretty good when I was shooting the target over here, but I'm struggling. Yeah, I can't seem to get the range on them little plates at all. I was hoping for a little bit better. I have no idea where I'm going. Looks like it's going to the left a little. I don't know why that is. Yeah. You know, when I was shooting the target, I wasn't really getting that, but for some reason shooting at distance, it seems like I'm pulling it maybe a little to the left, and I don't know why that is. If it's just, I don't know. Yeah, I agree. That's what it is. I'm having to hold over to the right just a little bit. Well, you know, I did pull a few of those to the left, but I thought that was just me, but maybe it wasn't. And those were, that target I shot, I was shooting with hand loads, which are a different projectile. So that may have something to do with it as well. Let me see what these are 180 grain, which is what my projectiles on my hand loads are as well. But they are a coated lead, whereas these are a jacketed, so you know they're going to catch the rifling a little different. So that may have something to do with the point of impact being a little different than what I was seeing on the target, but we'll make do. We'll just use a little Kentucky windage and make the best of it. Sometimes that's what you got to do. You got to make it up as you go along, which is kind of the way I've lived my entire life. Not much for planning. Unfortunately, you get yourself into some predicaments sometimes when you don't plan very well. You know, as I said in a previous video, you know, when you don't plan very well, the downside is you're never prepared. But the upside is you're always ready for unexpected things to happen because you're used to just winging it all the time, right? So when something comes up that you weren't expecting, it doesn't throw you for a loop because you're never ready for anything. So, you know, there's something to be said for improvisation. And I don't know that I'm a master of improvisation, but I've got a lot of practice at it. We'll put it that way. And hopefully, you know, the more you practice something, the better you get at it. So I'd like to think that I'm at least pretty good at it. I mean, I ain't dead yet, so that's saying something. Because I was pretty stupid when I was young, so. Yeah. There's some people probably saying you're pretty stupid now, and that might be a fair assessment. My wife might agree with that sometimes too. Yeah. That was just me there. I absolutely pulled that. Absolutely. I flinched something terrible before I even pulled the trigger on that one. Muscle spasm or something. The little plates, and then I miss a great big cowboy. Get cocky. Felt like I kind of had it down, and you let your guard down and you stop concentrating because you think, well, I'll hit that big target. It's no big deal. And when you get cocky is when you mess up. You lose that focus. And that's one of the things about shooting that I think is so amazing, is that it really gives you a sense of focus. It really focuses you because you're so intent on that front sight. You're so intent on that target and that front sight. There's just something meditative almost about it, right? It's something very calming. You know, a lot of people say I'm crazy when I say that, you know, shooting calms me down because, you know, my wife, especially gunfire, you know, you think she'd be used to it by now, but she's not really. You know, it kind of makes her nervous. Makes my dogs nervous too, but it calms me down. And she just doesn't understand that. But, you know, coming out here to the range and focusing on that front sight and on hitting the targets, you know, everything else in life just kind of fades away, and it all just boils down into just that, right? All there is the sights and the target. And you know, sometimes we need that. We need that focus. We need to let all the things in the world that are distracting us all the time, because we're so overwhelmed with information. We're so overwhelmed with stimuli, right? You know, our phones are with us all the time. I use it for work. It's just always there's emails and texts and phone calls, and there's just something all the time. And you're always a million places at once, right? You're never focused on anything. And that's the wonderful thing about coming out here to the range, is when I put that front sight out there and I look down the slide down that barrel of my revolvers, you know, everything else melts away. That's all that's important in that moment. It's a way to live in the moment and not get so caught up in everything else and tomorrow and even for me yesterday, right? You know, sometimes as you get older, you start focusing on the past and focusing on regrets, and those things aren't necessarily healthy either. And that's why I need this time away. I need the time on the range to just focus on the here and now, and put all that other stuff aside, you know. So let's do a little bit more shooting here. Well, I need to focus a little more. Apparently I'm not focused enough. I've still got too much else on my mind. Cowboys want to turn on me some too. But I don't want to place blame. I don't want to point the finger, but doing videos is a little bit distracting. You guys distract me a little bit when I'm out here because I'm not just focusing on the sights. I'm not just focusing on shooting. I got to entertain you guys at the same time, right? I got to think about what I'm going to say to keep you from being bored, right? And so my mind is racing in one sense, trying to make sure I know what I'm going to say next, and that I don't make too big an idiot of myself and fumble and bumble and stumble and stutter and everything else, and trying to shoot at the same time. So, you know, you guys just need to stop distracting me so much, and just let me focus on shooting. So, but don't stop watching. Just be real quiet back there. All right, let's try a little bit more. That was weird. I guess I just didn't. I thought at first there that I had a dead trigger, but then it went off. But I think that just may have been me. I thought I'd pulled it back already where it was supposed to break, and it didn't break, and I thought I had a dead trigger, and then it went off. But I don't think it was a hang fire. I just think I misjudged it. Oh, there we go. I just had a failure. Not something I expect out of an M&P. Failure to feed that last round in. Looks like it popped up out of the magazine before it fed. And as a result, it didn't chamber. So I'll put that round in there and smack the cowboy with it, I guess. Well, we got just a few more of these Seller and Bellot rounds here. These fancy Czech-made fake French rounds or whatever they are. I know maybe the company is French and they're just made in the Czech Republic. Maybe that's what it is, or I guess they maybe not be French, maybe it's Belgian, or I really don't know. Guess I'll look that up at some point. Sounds like good information I should know if I'm going to make videos and try to educate people. I might want to educate myself first. So maybe I'll get around to doing that. Because I ain't got nothing else to do, right? Nothing else to do. You know, other than, you know, my job and preaching and making the videos and editing the videos. I mean, who needs to sleep? That's the way I look at it. I can sleep later. More important things now, right? All right, let's go out here and see if I can hit this plate out here at 80 yards. And I got a couple of mags, and I'll see if I can hit it a time or two. Maybe I can get the range. Let me see here. I think that must have went. All right. There's one. Just a hair high, I believe. I just ricocheted that one into it again. How many times have I done that now? It's like 3 videos in a row I've ricocheted into the target over there. I don't know if I've ever done that before. It'll be a trick when it's all said and done. There we go. Ah, that felt good too. I thought I had it. All right, I'm gonna shoot another. I'm gonna hit it right in front of it. Right beside it. All right, there we go. I'm doing a little bit better with this gun. I mean, it's not a bad shooter at all. Now that that trigger is smoothed out, it's a whole lot better shooter than it was. Why do I even say things like that? Oh me, I say that and then I miss that great big target right there, that big cowboy. And I am out of ammo. And I guess that's going to do it. So what are my thoughts? Well, I like it. I like it. Those failures are a little bit disturbing, but I think it's this, the way these mags are. I don't know if you can see, but that last round, when you have a loaded magazine, it sticks up at a really sharp angle there. And I think what it is if it comes out a little bit, then it ends up ramming into the top of the barrel and it doesn't feed. I think that's what's happening with it, because it's at such a sharp angle the way it comes out right there. But anyway, it's happened a couple of times now. Once was with my hand loads, but that one was with the Sellers and Bellot there ammunition, 180 grain. So it wasn't just my ammo. I don't like the safety. Safety's going to have to go if I keep it, which I hadn't decided yet. But it is a nice gun. I mean, my big question is, am I going to keep this one, or am I going to keep the Glock 21? Because I think I'm only going to keep one of them. And my heart's always with Smith & Wesson. So there's a part of me that really wants to keep this gun, but you know I've never had a failure with that Glock. But this grip does feel a lot better than that Glock one does. That Glock is slick, but I can get Talon grips for it. I love Talon grips, so it's a hard decision. It's a hard decision, because Smith & Wesson is really where my heart is, but I don't know if I really prefer this gun over the Glock 20 or not. Hard to say. Not a decision I'm going to make right now, but probably shoot them both again side by side one more time and try to get an idea. But I don't really see any reason to have two polymer frame guns in 10mm. I mean, it's just, you know, polymer frame guns are not my joy. They're not my love. Revolvers are where my heart really is, and you know, I like these guns, and but just not enough to have tons of them. You know, some people love these guns and Glocks and whatever. They'll have 5 different Glock 19s, and you know, they want every generation of every one of them. And you know, I can understand that, I guess, because I'm that way with the revolvers. But you know, that's just not me. So I don't know. Maybe I'll keep it, maybe I won't. But I do enjoy the gun now, and I'm a lot happier with it than I was before. So that's saying something, I guess. That's saying something. But there's almost no grit left in that trigger at all now. So if you pick one of these up and the trigger's gritty, just give it a little time. It'll work its way out. Or, you know, as I was talking to a guy on in the comments section on the first video, he was talking about the Apex trigger kit that you could put in there, which would fix all that. It's got the, you know, the new plunger for the striker block and all of that. And it makes the trigger a whole lot better. And I put Apex in some guns I've had in the past. I think I've still got one old, I think it's an old Sigma that I've got that I had an Apex in. I don't ever shoot it, but it's in the safe that I still have. It just ain't hardly worth enough for me to even bother trading it in on anything. So Apex, you know, I've used them before. They make good products, and I'm sure that would improve the shooting of this gun. But you know, as I stated, I hate for a gun to come new from the factory and you have to do all that stuff to it to make it, you know, worth the money you pay for it, really. You know, Smith & Wesson should have a good trigger right out of the box, in my opinion. This one didn't, but it didn't take too long for it to work its way out. So I guess it's forgivable in this day and age, in the market we're in now, and the lack of manpower, and you know, the supply chain issues we've got and everything else. I guess you gotta give these companies a little bit of leeway. You know, they're probably doing the best they can. We're all struggling one way or another. I know in my business, you know, we've had our struggles over the last few years as well. So anyway, guys, I appreciate you coming out. God bless you. Y'all take care of yourselves. We'll see you next time. And one more thing, and the description of this video, you're going to find a link to join the GOA, and one to join the TFA if you're from Tennessee. If you live in Tennessee, the Tennessee Firearms Association is a great organization that I'm a life member of. Please join, donate, and give your time as well if you can, not just your money. And the GOA is the great national organization that's no compromise, and they're what the NRA should have been, but isn't. So if you would join the GOA, donate money to them as well. So appreciate you guys coming out. God bless you. We'll see you next time.